Hey all, double 1/8 at Shadow here. So let's go ahead and get started with one thing that I forgot to cover on my last market watch, and I covered this with Cardfight Vanguard more recently, is that Bushiroad has been giving card stores and particular individuals these New Year's promos for their individual games. For Cardfight Vanguard, which is one other game that I cover right now, there was an energy marker that they provided, and for us, for Shadowverse Evolve, they gave Soul Devil in a New Year's version, where the fanfare of this one is just this coming year will be filled with happiness. And I can certainly hope that it will, except for the fact that apparently you can't play this happiness in official events, which is sad. Uh, we should be sharing this happiness. But enough with those jokes. Let's go ahead and just take a look at it real quick. So it is available on TCG Player for sell, and apparently we have already seen a sell on this one. It's $200 to start, and right now we've already seen a sale for $150 on this one. There's only one listing available right now, but if you are looking for this one, it will be harder to find overall, given that it was only given out to basically hobby stores as well as individuals. So I don't know how many were actually given out. We would have to check to see about that. The promos for most of the promos, I should say, for the recent Verdant Steel release tournaments are now available on TCG Player. But the sad thing is, the only ones that are available are Repair Mode and the Assembly Droid. The Naturan Tree is not up here for some reason. In any case, when we look at them right now, I don't know if it's because there just hasn't been much coverage on it. And honestly, when it comes to TCG Player and Shadowverse Evolve, there's very little coverage in terms of what becomes available on the promos especially. Repair Mode has already had 5 sales at $3. Let me see if they were all... Yeah, they were all from the same seller too. So one seller had 5 copies that all sold for $3 a piece. And I would assume the same for the assembly. Yeah, I'm assuming they all came from the same seller who had a bunch of them and wanted to get rid of them. So if you picked them up for $3, well, that was the only listing that was available. As for what they could actually go for, honestly, I'm not too sure. I would imagine if the tree went up, that would be the most popular of the 3. But it really depends on just whether or not people prefer like mono to Babylon. I cannot remember the Swordcraft names. But in any case, the one other thing you have to remember about these tokens in particular is that they're not thick tokens like what you get in the booster packs. They're actually pretty thin. They're hollow foil though. So if you prefer the hollow foiling, by all means, these are your tokens. But if you prefer them being thick, I personally don't like how they feel, especially... I guess you could say I've been spoiled with how thick the originals have been. And then you had the set 5 like anniversary based ones, which were both foil and thick, and on top of that still hot stamped. So I guess I've kind of been spoiled on it, which is why I don't really like these ones. But again, that's my own personal preference. Other people might think differently. But something to also watch out for, also from Verdant Steel, is the ultimate rare of Riley Hydro Shaman. The card has been decreasing in value slightly, and now has a base price of $90 with 15 listings. And the card has been selling as low as just over $100, but futuristically, this card might see a rebound, given that it's likely to be played more heavily by the time we get newer support when it comes to Dirt Room, which is what this is typically played for. So right now, it might be a good pickup, in comparison to Quan, who is actually falling out right now due to its lower popularity. Filne White Frost Dragon, which comes out of Paragons of the Colosseum, set 6, is still up in value despite the lower amount of playability that we've seen on this card. 13 listings right now on the regular legendary from $20. The super legendary has 2 listings starting from $40, and the ultimate rare currently has $160 for its base listing, with 7 listings available on that one, and the market price is still just under $200. There's also Vibe Car, who had a hype situation when there was a Forest Craft build that won one of the BCSs, or was it the Grand Showdown? I can't remember which one it was. But there was a Forest Craft based deck that was utilizing this, and Dragoncraft used this too during the Set 6 format, where it just got a lot of heavy play and the card saw a massive spike in value into the double digits. It's back down in value on its base form and its Evo, where they're now a base of $4 to about $150. The market price on the base form is still in the $8 range. The ultimate rare is still available for just over $100, but is also much lower than its market price of over $170. Going over a few cards of note, there's Crimson Meteor Storm, which comes out of Set 6 and is one of Runecraft's biggest board wipe spells, although it's a high cost one at 7 points. 27 listings on the regular silver from 10 cents, and the foil is currently available for as low as $1, but a market price of over 3. There's also a gold Courtly Dance, which is also from Set 6 and is for Swordcraft. There was a deck based around this to just swarm the board with this card because it allows you to play up to 5 units at once. And it's got a ton of listings on the market, starting from around 25 cents all the way up to around $1 when you consider the market price versus the lowest listing on the foil. Israfil is still maintaining its price for its base form as a neutral legendary, and this one comes out of Cosmic Mythos Set 4. $20 is the current base price with 8 listings available, and it still consolidates more so towards the $20 mark among all of its listings. So Israfil is still big going forward. I mean, not ridiculously, but ultimately, considering it's been 3 sets since Set 4 and this card is still $20, it's hard to see it go down anytime soon, even with its Glory Finder reprint. Knuckle Dragon, which has been a good support card for Dragoncraft decks in general, has seen a fall off on both of the Evo versions. This has been one of the more expensive Evos to pick up. Well, at least until we got the promo variant that you got from one of the Shadowverse showdowns. Now they're $3 to $4 for the Evos, while the base form, which comes out of Set 3 only, is $1 right now. Market price is just around that point too. The fall of Bellringer Angel continues, where the regular gold version of this card, which started out as a $15 to even a $30 card, has a massive range of value. As the card has progressively phased out of a lot of decks, the card has now dropped to $5, or at least around there, for its regular version. When it comes to the Evo, that one is still $1.50 to pick up. And even when you look at the premiums, the premium of the Evo is closer to $5, while the premium of the base form is $13 at its lowest and a market price that's still above $16. And there are Glory Finder reprints of Bellringer Angel, which have no stock on the market right now. There is also a Judge promo for Bellringer Angel's base form that still has no sales and is almost $700 to pick up. Soul Conversion, which is one of the best staples to consider for Abysscraft as a generic draw to by sacrificing one of your units. Right now, when it comes to its availability, there are a number of Glory Finder variants. I mean, they all come from the same Glory Finder deck set, but there are 3 different printings of it, so that adds on to how easy it is to get in general. But when you consider that it only comes out of Set 1 and is still $1.50 as a silver, I mean, that's a lot of value right there, to be honest. A silver from Set 1, which has been printed a few times now, and this card will likely continue to see play for a while. Even when you take a look at the promo variant, that one has a market price of just under $150, but there's only one listing on the market at $15. And I guess historically, taking a look at the sales on this one, well, that $15 is a far stretch compared to what it's actually sold at. We're looking at $1 to even $2.50, so I would say the next major milestone is to see if this thing can even sell for $5, to be honest. Agnes Tachyon has some cheaper listings on the market right now from $16 onward. I think there was a hint that some of these bigger staples might get reprinted in the new collaboration, but don't quote me on that. I have not confirmed that. If anyone else knows, feel free to note it in the comments. But right now, Agnes Tachyon is as low as $16 to pick up between two listings that are available, and then we even have a few $21, $22 listings. Well, I guess that $22 listing has a $4 shipping tag on top of that. But Agnes Tachyon's starting to drop below $20, so that is actually a nice sigh of relief for those who have been trying to pick this up for a while. Dragon Oracle, which has only... It only has listings right now from the starter deck set for Dragoncraft as well as the Glory Finder reprints. But even with that, the card is actually a lot easier to pick up than it was before. Before, when it was only the starter deck set that had these and you needed 3 of them to play in most decks, $250 is the current base price, and it's got 12 listings in comparison to it almost hitting $10. And the market price has been on a downtrend, back down to about just under $4 right now from over $5.50. Consolidation is still around $2.50, but then it jumps back up to $4. So yeah, there are only a few listings actually at the $2.50 mark, and then it goes back up to $5. But at the very least, that's still a whole lot better than seeing it at $10. Acolyte's Light, which also has reprints from Glory Finder, but is primarily out of the Havencraft starter deck. This one has $3 listings back on the market. This was one of the ones that was getting bought out as well. And compared to Dragon Oracle, this one has more listings available and more quantity available at its low-end price. But after that, just like with Dragon Oracle, it moves up into the $4 range. And that's it for today's Market Watch. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later.